Plantains. Do you know what plantains are? Yeah, these things, you don't have to be afraid of them. But before I get into that, I just want to welcome you to my off-grid homestead in the forest. And on this rainy day, it looks like freezing rain. Pretty sure it's freezing rain. I wanted to cook and serve some delicious plantains because it goes with a day like today. And let's talk about them a little bit. I remember when 40 years ago, I didn't grow up with these, and I remember I was introduced to them by a good friend. Shout out to Alberto from Dominican Republic. And when I saw them, I thought, what a strange looking banana. Probably from a banana family, but they're probably better for you. And he boiled them and he ate them before we went to work. And I thought, what is that? He offered it to me. He's very kind. He offered me everything. He saw me as his little brother, looked after me. But it wasn't until a few years later, a good few years later, 5-10 years later, when I had the opportunity to eat these fried. And they're totally different. They look different. They smell different than if you were to just boil them. So, but 30, 40 years ago, if you wanted something like that, you'd have to go to like an ethnic kind of store to get it from there. Today you can get them from any old superstore. And so, but when you see them, don't be afraid of them because they look kind of. This is the main staple of the islanders and Caribbean dwellers. Anyway, so I'm going to fry some for you today, and I hope you're open to tasting them. I don't mean these ones, or virtually, but ones you can get from near your place. It's not the same as when you go to get the dry plantain chips. I mean, I suppose they're good too. I'm not a fan of chewing on something dry like that's like a jerky. I prefer them fried, and I prefer them at home, and I fry them with coconut oil. And I'm probably pretty sure that they originally in the islands, where people eat these a lot, they use coconut oil. I'm using coconut oil not because of that, but because I always use coconut oil. They have a high heat tolerance, and when you're done frying whatever you want in them, they're still clear. It doesn't stick to the bottom of your pan. It doesn't change the chemical structure of it. So I'm going to cut some here for you, and then I'll take you over there to set you up with the at the stove, so you can see how I do it. And while I'm talking to you all this time, I gotta heat the pan. So you need hot pan, hot oil, just like you would with like when you're frying when you're frying potatoes. So I'm gonna go over there, bring the camera here, and then change the angle, and you can see me cut it. I'm just slicing it, but I tell you, my slicing is a little bit different than you might think. But here we go. You see how many I got there? Well, I don't know if I'll be able to do all of those today because they are quite filling too, but they do shrink a bit. They don't stay that size. But let's start with these ones. How is the camera showing? Okay. Look at my Christmas cactus, by the way. Blooming nicely. Not Christmas, we're in November, but getting there. So let's start with this guy. So what? It's the skin's kind of tough to fibrous. and not like your, I mean, although they're from the same family, I think, the peel is much tougher. Goes into the compost. Don't waste anything. And if you don't have a compost, save it for me. I'll come and get it from you. So, let me see. Yeah. So I cut it on an angle, and about quarter of an inch thick. And the reason for that is that it can have a bigger surface area to fry, to touch the pan. I mean, if I were to split this like a banana split, if you will, right? Like this. If I were to, where are you? If I were to split it like that, right, and then cut it in half, well then, as you know with potatoes, this side has very little surface to be in the oil, on the fire. Whereas this middle part that's flat has all that surface. By cutting it this way, I got two flat sides. You see? And so, is this enough for one? I think I can do a little bit more. Not a full one, but you can hear as I'm peeling it how fibrous it is. By the way, I don't know if you can hear the sound of the rain on the clear panels on the porch or solarium, whatever. There's a video that I made for that. If you haven't seen it, go have a look. It's very mesmerizing and very calming. What it is that it gets you sort of focused on that, and so it takes you a bit away from your own thoughts in your head. Sort of like those what do you call those things? This turny, swivelly things. So if you have too much going on in your head, go sit over there and contemplate, or just tune out of regular life. This might be enough for that one frying pan. I'll try it, and I'll come back and, well, you know what, let's do this one too, just in case. That way I don't have to come back, because I want to go take you over there and set the camera there. Let me go wash my hands. A little bit slimy. The lighting is terrible here, because I never, when I built this structure and designed the lighting, it wasn't for shooting videos or anything. It was to host people and have accent lighting, like candles, and like beeswax candles and little accent lighting, not for shooting videos. So now I'm finding that now that I'm shooting these, I'm thinking, well, this lighting, not the best. But what can you do? And that's what I got. And that's what this channel's about. You do what you can with what you got. Okay. So this oil should be nice and hot, and hopefully we'll get it to sizzle. So I put the fatter ones in the middle. Ah, yeah, that's good. Ah, that one's slippery. Ah, this is a really fat one. Too fat. How did I cut that one so fat? Another fat one. That's not good. Fatter ones take longer to cook, and And it's going to mess up the speed at which the rest need to get cooked. You don't want them to be really touching because then they won't crisp up as much. Well, I cut too many. I shouldn't have cut that last half bit, but whatever. Rinse my hands. Alright, so I'm going to let that, it takes time, I'm going to let that fry. So before I say anything else, let me check the fire. Yeah, we need it soaking. That's good, more wood on the fire. You basically don't need to do anything to this. You will know when it's ready to be turned over or flipped over, because just like when you're frying potato, can you hear that roaring sound of the fire in the firebox? Listen. Yeah. So don't be intimidated by this. Don't be afraid of this. It's like frying potatoes. You'll know when the bottom starts to get a bit of a caramelization on the bottom of it. You'll see. You'll literally be able to see the edge of them. Where's it? So I'm not creating shadow. Like around that time, that part. And then you can come in gently with your spatula. So what I do is, right today I'm using a stainless steel frying pan. We don't own any Teflon. You really if you have Teflon, you really shouldn't be using it anymore. I mean, that was a no-no 25 years ago, so get rid of it. You either use this or cast iron. Cast iron's best for frying because that tiny little bit of minute amount of iron that you get from it is helpful to you, especially at this time of year when you might need more iron, or if you're a vegetarian or vegan. See, folks, if you've watched my other videos, I mentioned to you that I'm not a vegetarian or a vegan or a carnivore or an omnivore or a whatever else award. I'm more of a opportunivore. That is to say that I will eat whatever that's available to me. So I eat a lot of vegan dishes. I'm not one of those people that if you're a carnivore, you're a carnivore. You will never eat anything vegan. This is coconut oil and plantains. There's really nothing else in here. There's no dairy. There's no any trace of anything else. So, see, I do eat vegan. It's a question of I just don't like things that are tasteless. When people don't use spices or people don't use salt, or I mean, I cook dishes that have so many spices in them. But if the salt is low, not even forget. I would never forget to put salt. But if I've not put enough salt, it's almost as if it's tasteless, garbage blend. Just throw it out in the compost. So this, when it's almost ready, well, not when it's almost, when it is ready to be flipped over, I flip it over, and then it doesn't take as long as when you first put it in, like now. And then I remove it, put it on a plate. Now, the oil that's there, I've seen people put a sheet of paper towel, or what do you not paper, is it called paper towel? I think it's called paper towel. You know, like a thicker ones down, and then put these on to soak up the oil. Well, you could do that, but the oil that's there, it's not a horrible oil. It's coconut oil that you can put on your face raw, and if you get it on your fingers, I eat these with my fingers. If you eat these with your fingers, you get them on your fingers, your hands, and that's not a bad thing at this time of year, especially in the winter time when air is so dry in the house. So you can get that on your hands. So what? And if you get it on your lips, I love shiny lips. Put it on your lips, so prevent it from chapped lips, whatever. It's not bad oil. It's not bad oil at all. So I can't waste paper towel like that. For one, I don't like wasting anything. Time, money, paper towel, whatever, resources. But especially since the oil is so good for you, why would you want to waste it? But if that's how you were raised and what you think the way it should be, then go ahead and spread a sheet of paper towel, and put them on, let it soak up. Then obviously you have to put a new one on for the next batch, or flip it over, whatever. But once it's on your plate or on your paper towel, whatever, sprinkle some sea salt. There's a video on that too. Sprinkle some sea salt from sort of a height, from some quite distance, so it can spread evenly. And that's basically all you need. So it's just 2 ingredients. 2 spices or 2 whatever in this. Coconut oil and sea salt. That is it. And this makes it an amazing lunch. Very filling, you may not think, but imagine if you had this much potatoes for one person for lunch, because there's 3 of us, we're going to have 3 times as much as this. And don't forget, they don't stay this size, they get smaller. I'm going to stop the video now and then try to shoot an after for you, just to show you what they look like once they're cooked. Alright? Alright. So folks, welcome back. This is the first batch that I fried. Let me see if you can see it. Yeah. Oh, maybe. Yeah. And see how gorgeous and caramelized they are. And see. Not hard, not soft. Perfect. So this just sea salt. Look for the video on that one. And just sprinkle some. And this is fairly sweet. So what you're getting is a bit of a sweet and sour kind of thing. And wanted to mention, don't worry when you see these at the store looking like they're ripe, but if you press them, they're fairly firm. And I prefer them, just like my bananas, a bit more on the ripe side, just like any of my fruit. It's just more flavorful. And not only that, as ripe as they are, because people are afraid of the way they look, they think, oh, they're finished. Look, I'm squeezing this. Nothing. They go unreduced. So here's a tip for you. Well, I hope you enjoy this. We'll give it a try and enjoy it. And as with all the videos that I make here for you, it's just my experiences and how I go on living off grid like this. You or other folks will have a different idea or a different way of living, perhaps. But this is how I do it. If you would like to see me do cook anything else or whatever, let me know. And remember, you can watch these videos with your kids. There are no ads here, nothing inappropriate, and this is not AI generated. This is all real, somebody's real life, a simple life out in the forest. Well, that's it for today. Till we meet again. So long.